Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Very
Good
good
afternoon.
afternoon, sir.
Okay, so what we'll do is
Sir,
solve
your
this.
voice was a little bit low.
We will solve this mock exam today. It'll be like we must treat this like some kind of an exam. So we won't discuss the solution until we solve all the problems, or rather, until you solve all the problems, there won't be any discussion of solution, and only towards the end will solutions be discussed. So you have to use this link. Just copy it. I won't paste it in the chat because you can just type it out. Currently, nothing will be visible. If you go there, it will just say waiting for PyPod to go live. I'll just give 1 minute and all of you please first log into this particular page.
So we are not going to revise the concept, but what we have learned, we'll rather solve this one.
So see, Python, there is not much of revision, right? It's like for loop, while loop, if condition, and list dictionary and stuff like that, right? So we'll just go over this exam, and as and when required, we can introduce whatever concepts, or rather go over whatever concepts are required.
Sounds good. That's good.
Okay, so I'm going to go live.
For 1 hour, sir, or 1.5 hours? Let us keep it for 1 hour, sir, so that we can discuss our doubt also.
Yeah, we'll see. So it depends on how fast you all complete it. So if you now enter, you must be able to see.
It is showing the first question is coming soon.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll begin accepting answers. And now if you notice, the first question would have come. Don't share the answer in the chat window. Just answer it. Whatever is the answer, whether it's some numerical answer you'll have. So just enter it.
What is the name, sir? It is your own name, or it is an IITM ID?
No, you have to enter your name.
Not the ID what we get, it's from the email. Huh?
If you enter your email, it is good. But if not, that is also fine.
Okay.
Question 2 is not active, sir. Sir, question 2 is not active so far.
Sorry?
Question 2 is not active.
No, right? I mean, I can enter.
I have also submitted, but now question 2 is not active.
No, it won't be active. I have not yet revealed it.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so this should be quite easy for all of you. So I'm going to reveal the answers. So if you have not entered your answer, please enter it now.
So wait a little bit.
We have to submit here, or how do we really go?
You have to click the submit button.
It is not active.
If you enter something, it will become active.
No, I already entered.
Then it's done. That's all.
No, it's only integers here to put it, or no comma, nothing is accepted.
No, only integers.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to reveal the
Sir.
answer.
Sir, are these declared as integers? They are not given, sir.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I won't. Now we won't discuss anything about the question. This is like
Okay.
exam. So
You won't discuss, but you will just display the answers, is it?
now it will be there, but after 1 hour we can discuss the answers.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to finish and reveal. So the answer should have been 12, right? So 30 of you have got the answer as 12. We'll come back to the solution. So next question will now be visible.
We're not able to scroll down the problem to see options, sir. Yeah, in this view.
No, on your page it should be visible.
So we are not able to. Okay. Also, it's not for, we are not able to scroll from our side, sir.
No, see, this is the same link that I'm looking at. Whatever I'm looking at is the same as you.
It's happening.
We are able to scroll. Maybe the browser you're using.
We are able to scroll this.
Once you can refresh.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to stop accepting answers. Okay, so I'm surprised that only 2 of the options are mainly selected. Why not B, right? So, okay, a lot of you seem to have missed out on option B. We'll come back to this. So there is, okay, so we'll move to the next question.
So correct is A and C, right?
A, B, C are correct.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean this you can skip, right? I mean this is like kind of tough. It has this lambda expression and all that. So I'm skipping that problem 3. We'll do problem 4 now. Okay, problem 4 should be okay. So I'm going to stop accepting answers. Right now. Okay, so this is not bad. A, C, D. Okay, we'll go to the next one now. So this is like multi-part question. So part 1 is 5.1. Okay, so I'm going to stop accepting answers.
Sir, please, sir. एक 1 minute.
Okay. Okay, I think we have to move on. I'm going to stop accepting answers. Okay. So also note that this is the explanation that is given, right? So every question below that you will see one explanation. Anyway, so next question is same class but different problem. So will not have a lot of time for this. So
The next question is not visible.
I think you have to refresh.
Refresh. Now what happened? The class is same and the question is different. Is it the old question is gone?
Yeah, new question, but the same class.
Sir, how should do we should give input, sir? 2 comma, I mean 1 comma 2 or like 5 comma 6 or 5 comma 4.
I can't comment on that now. So
I mean the format to give input.
no, that is what. So if
Should
I
be a
comment on
value,
that, I will give away the answer. So you think about it and you just try to figure it out.
By keeping a comma b as input, that was not taking.
No. So you have to read the question and see what is appropriate.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, this line D equals to P1 dot distance P2. I'm unable to like get this. What is P2 distance we have to calculate? And then
no,
what
no.
this means P1 dot?
Yeah, no. I can't explain it now because it's like more or less like an exam. That's how everyone is treating it. So any discussion will happen at the end.
Okay, sir.
But we have a piggyback class, sir. Do you think you'll have time for that?
Sorry?
We have a follow-on class after that.
Yeah, we'll try to close this soon. Like,
okay.
Yeah. So now I'll stop accepting responses because this is the same class. You have already seen it. This is just a small variation. See,
2 minutes.
these problems will be made available. Okay, so you can attempt this quiz any number of times you want later on. So I'll post the link in discourse. So it's not like if you miss it now, then you can never attempt it. It's not like that.
Do we get an explanation for the answer?
You will, so the answer with solution will be available in the link that I share.
Then
After the meeting.
after the meeting, okay. Thank you.
Sir, can the link for the test be as part of the provided in the dashboard of the students? Sir?
We'll see. Yeah, so we'll see that. But first,
Because-
for now, let's finish
Yes.
this.
Yes.
Okay, there are so many answers. Okay, so this is just computing the closest distance, right, between a pair of points. Moment you see for loop, nested for loop, that must strike you. Anyway.
Yeah, sir. But how 1, 2 is the correct option, but we should enter 1, 2 or 2. That's the main confusion there.
No, right, there is value. We are not entering the point. We are entering the value. The shortest
Yeah.
distance.
The shortest distance of the point is 1, 2, right? And the distance of the point is 1, 2 is the distance. But I didn't understand how to enter point or the distance. I confused it there.
Okay, we are printing only the distance, right? So only the
Value, sir.
only the value needs to be entered. Anyway, so yeah.
There is no distance actually 2, right? 3 is possible. How is 2 possible?
We'll come to that, right? So we'll come to that. So this is another function. Okay, given the time limitation we have, I'm going to stop accepting answers now.
Just 1 minute, sir.
Okay, just 1 minute. Okay. I think you should have figured it out by now. If not, don't worry. We can always attempt it later.
What is the answer, sir?
Okay. So the answer is true. The explanation will not be provided now. So that will be provided after the second part is done. So the second part is again same function, different arguments. So we'll just have 1 minute for this because you by now I am assuming you would have understood what this function does. So just 1 minute, exactly 1 minute, and then we'll close this question. Okay, I'm going to close this. Okay, yeah, so seems reasonable. Most of you have got this, what's happening. I think there is one final part. No, there are two more parts to it. This is 30 seconds. So just 30 seconds, you'll have to answer the same function. And okay, so we seem to stabilize at 33. So I'll stop now. Okay, that's decent. 41 if you have got this. So the final part is what exactly this function is doing. Okay, so I'm going to stop accepting answers for this question also, and then we'll move on to the next one.
The sequence here is
Yeah, so we will come to this, right? So we'll
in the same, it should be like a subset or something. I didn't understand the sequence.
that is why this hint was given, right? So the hint was exactly that.
Can we obtain the deleted terms and change out of the.
Okay, so we'll move on now. And yeah, so this is just 1 minute, right? This should be very easy for most of you. So just 1 minute for this question. Okay, I'm going to stop accepting answers. This is a bit worrisome because there shouldn't be such a close competition between two options. Okay, so some of you felt that A is correct. See, these are sets right at the end of the day. So ordering doesn't matter. So whichever way you put these elements, they are the same set. Okay, so that was the basic idea of this question. Anyway, we'll come back to this. This combines file handling and exception handling. So yeah. Okay. So let's see the answer. There is close competition between three options now. Ideally, there should be only a competition between two options, right? The others are actually not so very relevant. So if you're confused, if you have a confusion between two options, it's fine, but not with the others. Okay. So some of you have added A as the answer. And D. Okay. Right. So this is basic string concatenation is happening, right? So anyway, we'll come back to this. Okay, I'm going to stop accepting answers now. Okay, A and C. A lot of you have given. C also a lot of you have given. That's the right ones, right? So if you think about this, A is quite simple application of while loop. C is a recursive solution. Okay, so it's the only catch there. Okay, so this is just, I'll just give 1 minute for this. We have to close this fast. Okay, I'm going to stop accepting answers. Okay, not bad. Okay, this is a bit tricky, so I'll skip this question for now. You can do it later on. This we'll do now. I'm going to stop accepting answers for this question. Okay, a lot of you have got it right. Just give me 1 second. Copy this. Yeah, so same function but different arguments for the next one. Okay, I'm going to stop accepting answers. Okay, again, a lot of you have got it right. The next one is one small variation on the same theme. Okay, I am going to stop accepting answers since this is the third part. Most of you should now be familiar with what's happening in the function. Okay, and the final part is the explanation of this function and what it's actually doing. Now there's one more part. I just want to skip this. I mean, it's again the same thing again and again. So yeah, this is the last part. Okay, so that's the explanation for that particular problem. So that is what the function is doing. This is okay. This is something to do with generators, which we are actually you won't expect. You don't need to worry about generators that much. So yeah.
Sir, is it not important for exam perspective?
Yeah, I mean generators is like we didn't cover it in detail, right? So main thing from this functional programming is list comprehension, and from exception handling in that week 11, exception handling and list comprehension are the main things.
Okay.
But about class and also.
Class is important. Class is week 10, right? I'm talking about week 11.
Sir, which topic you mentioned? Exception handling and
List comprehension. Okay, this you should have figured out by now. So I'm going to stop accepting the responses. It's like a very simple 4-line code, but tricky at the same time. Let's hope the first option is the correct one that most of you have answered. Okay, so note that there's no new line, right? That is the tricky part. So everything will be written on the same line. Okay, so that is the catch here. Okay, this is the next question.
Do we have a method like right line?
Sorry?
Is there a method like right line for writing that here we are writing, right? So it will obviously write adjacent to when the next character will be immediately entered. But do we have something like right line?
Yeah, I think there is. I'm not sure, but then you would have to give it as a list of lines, a list of strings, something like that. Okay, so this is the last but one question, penultimate question. I mean, this is the last question in the test. So after this is just conclusion. So okay, so I'm going to stop it because it will be good if we stop at 3 o'clock and move on to discussion. What so many answers, huh? I'm having so many unique answers.
Just 1 minute, sir. So we have 1 minute.
The level of questions would be same in end term.
It's very tough to say what the level will be, but some questions here are very tough. So whatever you saw just now, some of them are like tough questions. So some
We
may
don't
not
need
be
to
of this
write any
level.
coding, is it? We don't need to write any coding,
No coding, only reading code.
only theory.
Yeah, only theory.
This the length of course will be like this only or lengthier than this?
Roughly of this length.
Roughly of this length.
Yeah. So
So
let's finish
what will be the weightage of
this.
the course, sir? If it's possible to.
No such weightage, right? I mean, week 11, I already told this list comprehension and exception handling. That is what we have asked in the assignments also. But for that, every week we'll have questions.
Okay, so week 11 also will come, like you mean to say will be on higher weightage, right? Week 11.
No, that's what I said. There'll be no weightage business.
Okay.
All 12 weeks will be covered.
No library also.
Okay.
No libraries. NumPy, see, anything we have not asked in the assignments, we won't ask. So we didn't ask NumPy and Matplotlib in the graded theory assignments, right? So
So difficulty level of n term would be same as quiz 1 and quiz 2, or it will be slightly easier or a bit tougher?
I don't know, right? I mean, it's a very tough question. We can't say, right? I mean,
But sir, how do we practice, sir? Like, okay, we understand, sir. Okay, the complexity, but is there a way like we should be, very, we should understand. Okay, what will be the way we should be, working in the quiz, this final term quiz, sir.
I think sir, what he's trying to say, can we get similar kind of more questions so that we can practice at this time?
Do you have time to take more?
No, see, don't focus on the exam, right? The exam, you focus on your ability to read code. And
we have marks also, sir.
By doing graded assignment, can we?
Yeah, that is all. Yeah. If you keep solving these graded assignments, that is enough, right? And this mark, there will be one more mark. So if you can understand what is happening in all that, that will be enough.
Yeah, good. So when will it be scheduled?
Sorry?
When is the next mark schedule?
Next mark will be on Thursday, next session.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Can you send this link? You're going to send this link also. I thought this is important for this particular questions. You can try it later if some of them we got wrong.
Yeah, now I can't share, but I'll share it after the session ends.
But sir, it's better like if we can share in dashboards, because in this Discord it's like it's just like an ocean kind of thing. So many things are there. So
yeah, I'll pin it in this course. So once I pin it, you will be able to access it.
So that's what I meant was in this course, it's like accessing materials seems to be very difficult. So it's like so many posts and queries and all. So if we can,
yeah, sure.
If you can take it in the dashboard, it will be nice. Sir.
Yeah.
And if you agree, can we discuss solution now, like explanation?
Yeah.
So what I meant was, rather than discourse, I thought you could share it in
email.
Email, not necessarily email, even in dashboard. But this Discord will be really confusing.
Okay, so we will now look at. I won't go through all solutions because
4, 5 are like class oriented and all. The tough question which you think,
Yeah. So
4, 5 are related to class.
Yeah. So if you view results, it's like everyone's results.
Can I re-enter the answer for last one? I mistakenly entered one.
No, that's fine. This is like no one is going to.
Sir, can I ask you a question, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, whether the library will be there in this exam, any from the Matplotlib, NumPy, or Pandas?
No.
Second is there any exception handling and the especially lambda function and all this? Any question from lambda or this?
I already clarified that. Right? Exception handling will be there. List comprehension will be there.
Okay, sir.
Sir, OP2 results. When can we see, sir? Hello.
Sir, please discuss the solutions.
Yes, sir. Let us discuss the solution now.
Okay, so this is okay, so this is I won't go through all questions because again this you can always this is an easy question actually.
Tough one if you think like class and
Yeah, so I will skip this. This is like just adding stuff, right?
Sir,
So
these are strings, sir. These are all strings, sir, not numbers, right?
these are all numbers. Where is the quotes?
No, sir, but yeah, nowhere it's discussed as integer, right? These are all strings. Default, it will be taken as string and concatenated, right?
No. When? I mean, how? From
It's
where
confusing. Actually, it's
No.
confusing completely, sir. Conceptually, it's confusing totally because when you write anything, when you initialize a variable, if you are not given it as int,
No, I'm sorry.
when you're performing the arithmetic operation like var1 plus var2, then it will be a string, right?
No, from where did you get this information? I mean, this is not true, right? When string means within quotes, not where I'm sorry, but where is string here?
No. See, when you declare it's an integer, but when you're performing the operations, I thought like var1, var2.
No. So
var1
there is
plus
no
var2.
concept of type declaration in Python. It is implicitly.
No, sir, I got it, sir. Not the declaration. I'm saying once in the first line, okay, it will be integers. But when you are doing the addition, right, var1 plus var2, there I got confused.
There also it will be integers, right? You are okay. So I mean, let's see here. This is counting the number of occurrences of the last character, right? So this part is simple. Here you are checking if the last character is equal to this particular character in the word and you are counting. So this is quite easy to get. Okay, so once you get this, you must compare this with option B, which is very similar. Only difference is that here count is 0, here count is 1. And here instead of iterating through the entire word, you're iterating through the first n-1 words, right? So you are doing one iteration less, but you're compensating for that by setting count as 1. So that's why this is also correct. Okay, so this is.
So they are starting from 1. We should start from 0.
No, right here I am counting the number of occurrences of the last character.
Right.
So I am assuming that. So not assuming, last character will always be there, right? So count will always be 1. If I am.
Sir, where is our results for this?
Results, I don't know. I don't think it turns up. It comes up there. But this quiz that I'm going to share with you, you can try it again. So that's why A and B are correct.
Where can we connect it, sir?
Sorry?
How to reattempt or practice?
No, that's what I said, right? I will share it at the end of the session, after the session ends.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so again, this is
Sir, will the link? Will you share the link in the portal as well, like in the course portal?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this is again something to do with the set. Okay, so this I'll let you figure it out. The explanation is given, right? So I think A is correct. Okay. And I'm kind of rushing through because we need some time for some open questions also. Append is wrong because you can't append to sets. So option B is wrong. Okay. Option C is what? You must look at this hint here, right? Long word. So the variable has been named appropriately because what I'm going to do is I'm going to concatenate all the words in the list in one long word. And then I'm going to add each character in that long word to the set. So option C is also correct. Option D is kind of tough if you have not used sets that much in your Python journey, but what it's essentially doing is it's converting all the characters of the word into a list of strings or a list of characters, and then it is converting that list into a set. Okay, so we have two sets now. Characters chars is one set, and then you are taking the union of that set with this word, all the characters in the word. Okay, so that is why that is also correct, but this is like kind of, I mean, this may be tough. So you don't have to worry if you don't get it. Right, so yeah, anyone had any questions in this class?
It will be better, sir, if you explain this code.
Okay, which point did you not understand?
Quickly, if you can rush through, sir, if you can rush through that.
Sorry?
Quickly, if you can rush through the course, sir, that will be a great help.
Okay, but is there any particular difficulty? Because see, this is just the usual constructor part. Here I'm just computing the distance between 2 points, and here I'm just displaying the point.
Sir, I think it's a Manhattan distance, not
Yeah, yeah, this is the Manhattan distance.
Okay.
Okay, so did everyone get what is happening in this code?
Sir, I am having one doubt that val comma p equal to 0 comma origin dot display that we have given, right? So the
Yeah.
origin dot display is actually just a display. It's not setting any variable, right? So I was wondering whether we can set, I was not aware that we can set it like this as well, that just to display thing, because it is not giving returning any variable, no?
It is
Oh,
returning.
it's returning.
It is returning.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think I did wrong there. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Sir, in this code, val comma p equal to 0, origin dot display. So how do we assign this value? So we're just listing it out, right? There is
Which
no
value?
val p equal to 0 origin dot display, but there is no way assigning this. Unpacking is not happening. No? What will happen to val, sir?
Val is 0.
Val is given.
Val is
After
0.
after val you put a comma, sir.
Yeah.
But see, when you have, let's say you want to assign values to 2 or 3 variables, so we'll have sit out with comma and then put equal to, right? But here you don't have such, right? Even if display returning two values, but how does val p equal to 0 and comma again after p you put 0, right? After p equal to 0 you put a comma.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question at all.
But the lines explain the val comma p equal to 0 comma again you put, sir.
See, value equal to 0, p equal to x comma y, some x comma.
Value is comma. Value comma p equal to 0. Does it mean that we can do val and p both equal to 0? Because maybe a conceptual doubt I had.
Sorry, didn't get it at all.
We'll have to do one by one, right? So here,
No, what is the difficulty here? Can you tell me that?
Yeah, so my confusion here is maybe very basic because not much of practice actually. So val p equal to 0 when you're giving it. So does it mean that both val and p are being initialized to 0?
No, right? You are missing the elephant in the room here, right? The origin dot display.
Yes, sir, but that is coming only after p equal to 0 comma, right? See, if we had given, let's say if we have two variables a and b, and we want to give values 5 and 7. So a comma b equal to 5 comma 7. That's how we do it. Right?
Correct. Same thing only we are doing here, right?
Val p. Okay. So here val is getting 0 and p is getting the two values. So,
P is a point 0, 0 for this.
So here, if I'm understanding it correctly, val is being initialized to 0, P is being initialized to the value is returned by display.
Val is equal to 0 and P is equal to a point.
No, one second. Sir, so my query is, hello.
See, value equal to 0. P
That's what I'm
equal
saying.
to,
So I just wanted to validate what I'm saying, sir.
no, see, I am very, I am very confused now. See, A comma B equal to 1 comma 2. That is what is happening here. That you know, right? A equal to 1, B equal to 2. Same.
So that's what I was saying, sir. I just want to just let me know whether I'm right or wrong, sir. Here from this code, what I'm saying is val is getting the value 0 and P is getting the value returned by display, right?
Yeah. Okay, any other confusion here? Okay, so all that we are doing here is we are computing the distance of every point from the origin and finding which point is having maximum distance from the origin. So which point will have maximum distance from the origin?
So one more thing.
5 comma 6. 5 comma 6.
Yeah.
So one more doubt here is that when I'm calling the instance, I'm calling the constructor. So P1, all the points are calling the constructor. So again, we are initializing to 0, x equal to 0 and y equal to 0. Right? So, but when I'm passing the point 1 2, let's say I'm calling point 1 2, next I'm calling point 0. So the x and y will get back to these two values, right? So how will the origin values be retained?
Again, I didn't get the question. Hello, I didn't get the question you're asking.
No problem.
Okay, okay.
If I have a doubt, I'll ask on this call.
Okay.
By now, you could have explained the entire code taking one example. I think then his doubt will have also been cleared.
See, the problem I have with that is, see, code unfortunately cannot be explained line by line, right? See, when I explain the code line by line, who's learning from that? I'm not, do you think I'm helping you if I explain, self.x equal to x? So x is assigned to the variable self.x. No, this is something that you have to internalize. Right? So see, at the end of 12 weeks, if you should have learned something, it is this, right? No one can explain the code to you. Right? Not me, not Professor Sudarshan, not any. So it's not as though we are very smart beings who are here to tell you what is happening in line 5 and line 6, right? I mean, we can do that. So out of it is for me to say that point dot distance of origin, this will go and call this function, and then it will return this value, and then that value will go into a variable d. I mean, isn't it boring for you also to listen to me telling all this?
Yes, sir. We have also another session for math.
Right. So see, the point is not that it's a waste of time for you also when I explain the code, because the one who is explaining understands stuff, right? But the one who is listening passively is not going to really benefit from it. So I request you to, whenever you come across a code, pause for a second, I already told you that I will share this offline. So you go through the code yourself, and if you have a particular spot which is bothering you, think about it, print it out and see, right? And if even then you are not able to answer, then some explanation makes sense. Otherwise, what will happen is, I honestly think you won't benefit if I explain this line by line. So see, the point which is being computed here is whichever has the maximum distance from the origin, and that is the hint that is given to you.
Sir, one small note.
Yeah.
How val is defining here, sir? What is the initial value before we are giving input of the val?
Okay, can you tell me? Can you look through the code and see where it is happening?
But sir, val is equals to d. But before defining that, what value it will be taken?
Yeah. So where is that happening? See the question that you're asking me, right?
Yeah.
The question you have to ask yourself. So now let's say that you have asked this question yourself, right? Where is val getting initialized? So this is where the code starts.
Yes.
Can you keep going down and see where val is getting initialized?
Initialize in last third line, sir.
Okay, but before that, nowhere you are able to see val.
Yeah, yes, sir. From the starting of the before for loop.
Yeah, then you have your answer there, right?
Yeah, but there val comma p equals 0 origin dot display. Yeah, but that is not
Val
defining.
equal to 0, p equal to origin dot display.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, see, this is what I said, right? So you will be able to answer the questions yourself, right? You don't need me in most of the places. Where you need me is in providing you these questions, right? Rest should be up to you, right? In the exam, so someone asked me how to prepare for exam. This is how you prepare. So you get one question, you don't immediately ask your friend, or you don't immediately go and post it in Discourse, but you stare at the code for a sufficiently long time and you will know what is happening.
So just one doubt here is like, so even if we have points being given as a list of points, so each instance is getting called when we are instantiating the point 1 to point 04. So even if it's like a list, that will anyway going to call the constructor, right? Each one of them.
Yeah, each one is an object.
Okay.
Okay, so what is this doing?
So I think it's collecting the minimum distance between 2 points.
Okay, that is right. So can someone tell me why this line is there?
Because if a point P1 and P2 is equal to, then nothing.
Equal distance from the origin.
So it is to it is actually there are loop inside a loop, and it is to ignore the same point to be compared with the same thing.
Exactly, right? So it is to ignore the same point, so you don't want to do this, right? So that is why you're skipping this. Now, when you in the exam, or I mean, let's forget about the exam, right? I mean, exam is just a part of life, so it's not everything. So in general, when you're reading code, you are supposed to ask these questions yourself, right? Now I am asking this for you, but you should ask this yourself, right? What will happen if I remove this line? Is the whoever is the author of the code, has he put this line just for fun, or is there some real meaning behind this line? What will happen if I remove this line? So what will happen if I remove these two lines?
I think a d is equal to 0.
Right, so d will be 0. So your minimum distance will not be a minimum distance. It will your code won't achieve what it set out to do, because your distance of a point from itself will also be computed, and there is nothing useful that this code is doing. So these two lines are extremely important, right?
So this loop within loop is why so which means when we, let's say P1 is an iterator, iterates new points, P2 is iterating new points, and so at one point let's say P2 we are looking for the second one. So every point is going to sort of, we are going to calculate the distance from itself, so which we don't want to happen, right? That's why we are saying continue, so that we don't compute the distance.
So can you tell me why we do this? I'm asking you the question again. So see,
Yes, we go back because since it is continuing, it will not compute the distance, but we go back to the next point. Is that right or?
yeah, but do you think is it right or not?
No.
No, see, the point I'm trying to make here is, I am no one, right? See, okay, I am an instructor for Python, all that is fine. But ultimately, the validation must come from within you, right? You must be able to say with complete certainty that this is why these two lines are there or not. So you don't, so that's what probably what I'm trying to say. Don't ask me for validation, right? So I mean, I can give you validation for, like, say, one more session, and beyond that, right? So you please tell me what you think these two are, right? Don't ask me, like, am I correct? But you can answer this question, like, what will happen if I remove these two lines?
Yeah, so the point with itself, distance of point from itself is going to be 0. So will always be 0, which is not what is actually.
Right, yeah. So you have your answer there, right? So I am no one in this, right? I am not an intermediary between you and the question. You must own the question and must be in complete control of it, right? And the more I help you, the more I am probably preventing you from understanding stuff, right? So what is the shortest distance in this case? Which two? I don't know which two are shortest. So I'm just going to skip this. You can compute it, right? So 1, 2, and 0, 4 will be.
Sir, I guess it should 3 because minimum distance. But
okay.
Answer is something else.
Oh, it is 2. I think, what is this? 2, 4, and these 2 points are 2 units apart, right? So 0, 4 and 2, 4, the distance is 2.
So what about 1, 2 and 0, 4?
Sir, I think distance is a addition of both.
Yeah, but which is absolute value, right? So see, this is
again, this distance is also a Manhattan only, right? So
this is 3, right? This is 2.
Yes, sir, it's 3.
So this is 3, but these two are 2 units apart, right?
Sir, but 0 minus 2. Okay, sir. I got it. Yes.
Okay.
This again is Manhattan only, right?
Yeah.
So in the previous code, we can use not equal to instead of continue, right? That is also fine.
Continue.
Not equal to we can use without continue.
Then you'll have to indent the whole thing inside.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that is fine. Okay. So see, this is some recursion question. So what we are essentially doing is, so did someone get what is happening here?
It's checking whether the element in the first list is existing in the second one.
Okay. Yeah, so that is what it's doing. It's checking if this list is present in the second one, but not consecutively, not as consecutive elements in the second list, right? So it's not necessary that 1 should be immediately followed by 2. It's like 1 is here, 2 is here, and then 3 is somewhere there. So Which lines do you think is making this happen? This non-consecutive behavior.
Last if else.
Yes, return to something.
Last if else.
Sir, at last it will take every element, right? It will go to else, right? Else statement, right? Yes.
Yeah. So this is what this is mainly making it. This combination is making it check if this list is present as subsequence, right? If this else were not to be there, right, then we're in trouble. But if because this else is there, you can even skip some elements, and here you're skipping 8 and 5, and that is possible only.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so you please go through this later on because this has a proper explanation.
So this last else is with last if, right?
Last else is
With last if.
Yeah, with the last if, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if my first element is equal to the first element of first is equal to second element of the first. Okay. Yes. First element of second list, then that if part will be executed, right?
Yeah.
And if it is not, then else part will be executed.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So for subsequence, the order matters, no?
For what?
Subsequence.
Yeah, the order matters.
But sir, here, for example, 1, 2, 3 is a subsequence of 1, 5, 4, 2, 3, 9. This thing doesn't. This thing contradicts each other, no? The subsequence thing.
Yeah, order is same, right? Order of 1, 2, 3 is preserved in this bigger list also. Only that it's not like 3 to 1, right?
Yeah, okay, the consecutive thing is not there, but order remains same.
Yeah, order is preserved. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so yeah, so this one, I think many of you missed it. Note that set object does not have any ordering, right? It is 3 to 1, 2 and 3, 1 to 3. All the 6 permutations of 1 to 3 are the same set. Okay, so this is true, true, true.
Because it is set, right, sir?
Yeah, because it is set. It is an unordered collection, so order doesn't matter. Okay, so yeah, here what is happening is you are reading a file, CSV file, so there is no error in this line. You're just reading line, stripping it of new lines, splitting it by comma. So you will get a list containing these 5 numbers for each line. Okay, and then you're saying that S is matrix of 0, 0, right? 0, 0 is what? 1. And then you're looping through the matrix and you are just adding the diagonal elements, right? So this is a diagonal element. So when you have a matrix and you are only doing something like this, right? Single loop, then either it's diagonal or it's anti-diagonal, or it's one column of the matrix, or it's one row of the matrix. So when you have only one loop, you can know that it's some kind of single array that is being looped over. In this case, it's diagonal.
So one query over here.
Yeah.
Hadn't it been just a diagonal element, and if the code is trying to add, suppose all the elements, then it will definitely give the index error, na, sir? Because that length will consider only the length of the first one, no? First row, that is the number of elements, and allocate that much.
Here,
or rather the 3 elements are there, so it will allocate only 3 by 3, right?
Yeah, but here there are like 3 by whatever, right? 3 by 5.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get.
See, in this case, the code worked because I actually missed that, and that's why I gave a wrong answer. You said that it is going to add only the diagonal element, right?
In this case, yeah.
In this case, so that 3 is already present because in the third line, we are actually doing it till the length of the matrix, right? So length of the matrix will be the first thing, that is 3 rows, right?
Correct,
So it will
correct.
create only 3 by 3, right?
See, matrix created will be 3 by 5, but you will be iterating only through the first 3 rows.
Okay, okay. I somehow got that it is created only 3 by 3. I don't know why I thought that. Okay.
Yeah, so the matrix object here is the entire matrix, but you are only looping through these 3 values, 1, 7, and 13, the diagonal elements. I mean, not diagonal because it's not a square matrix, but you get the idea.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
got it. Okay.
I will look from 1 to 2, I think.
The length of matrix here is 3, right?
Yeah.
From 1 to 2, right, sir?
It is 1 comma 3, so 1 and 2 alone. So matrix 0 0, matrix 1 1, and matrix 2 2.
So can you go to a little bit right? I wanted to check that line. Okay, what there? But there are no 2 square brackets, no, sir? There's only 1 square bracket, no? So how will it create the inside elements?
Okay, this is a good point. Yeah, so this is a list, right?
Yeah, it's a simple list.
Yeah, but this is a list within a list, right?
Yeah, but then when you go to the second one, I mean third one, the length of matrix, it will create only 3, no?
Length of matrix will be 3, but you have already created the matrix here, right?
So the split will create anyway another list.
Yeah. So okay, so since here we are adding only diagonal elements, we are safe, right? Otherwise, it would it have given an error? Otherwise,
as in when you loop through what?
If I am trying to populate all the things in the matrix, would it have given an error?
You have already populated, right? So for example, here whatever matrix you have is all these 3 by 5 15 elements.
But it will not now because there is only single bracket now.
No, that's what I said, right? So this is a list, right? This is, you are splitting each line by comma, so you are creating a list of lists. So
okay.
you are adding one list 3 times.
Okay. Right. Okay, got it.
Okay, so the catch here is that they're all strings, and therefore the answer is 1713 and not 7 plus 1 plus 13. That is the other catch.
Okay.
Okay, we have not converted them to integers anywhere. Okay, so we have always treated them as strings. When you read from file, it's a string. So this is a list of strings. Okay, so that's the reason why the answer is 1713. Yeah, any questions here?
So just one thing, that in length of matrix, it will just consider the row, right?
Yeah.
How many rows are there?
Yeah. Yeah, but so see, I have one question that I want to know, right? See, this is also, I mean, this may not be the right time to ask this question, but I want you all to trust yourselves a little bit more than you trust me or Ram or the instructors. I mean, we are there to solve problems, but have a lot more trust in yourself, right? So if you take 10 minutes and think about this, you will know that length of matrix is 3, right? You don't even need to ask me. I'm not saying that you should not ask me, but really you are capable of answering that question yourself, right? So when you get out of this course, that is really the one thing that I want you all to take away, that you have to trust yourself, that you know something is right. When you know something is right, then make sure that it's really right. No, I mean, you don't even have to ask me whether it's right, or I'm not, who am I, right? At the end of the day, you are a learner, and what is in front of you is some learning material. I don't need to actually come in between you and the question. I hope you'll all reach that stage. It's far more interesting than me, telling you that yes, you are right. That is conventional learning, right? That is classroom learning. That is, we are gone,
Sir.
we are past that stage.
Yes, so sir, can we
Right,
go
sir.
to, if the time permits, we go to the very first question, sir, very basic. Probably someone who's actually the first session of Python, so probably the first question, very first question. Can we go there? Just wanted to.
It may be tough now because like there are like some questions which we have to finish. We'll finish this, and if we have time, we'll.
Okay.
do that. So see, this is just summing a series. Okay.
I think being a final revision, it is better to give room for other subjects also, sir. So if you kindly finish at 4 o'clock, it would be helpful for us to.
Yeah. See, at 4 o'clock you can drop off.
Yeah. The problem here is there is always an option to drop off, but when something is going on, it's really a very hard decision to drop off. That's what.
Yeah, but it's live stream, right? So you can always get back.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is see this first option A function. I think you can understand it offline also, because you are essentially doing what you are starting with a difference of 1. So diff equal to 1, and you are starting with the value of initial value of 1. So value equal to 1. Okay, and then what happens? Difference keeps increasing by 1 in every iteration. That's because the difference between consecutive terms increases by 1 in every iteration. So we have said that, and we have done that here. Okay, so there are n terms. So you start with n and you keep decreasing n until it becomes 0. Okay, so any questions?
So actually, I have to go through this code because I didn't understand. I'll take some time and I'll go through. In case I'm having any issues, I'll contact you on Discord. Is that fine?
Okay, yeah. So that's a better approach. Option C is slightly tougher than option A. Just give me 1 minute. I'll be back. Yeah, I'm very sorry. So what is happening is, yeah, so please go through this again, given that many of you have to leave for some other session. I don't have time to explain this in detail. But what is happening is, just so that it will help you understand this option C better, notice this pattern here. If you take any term, say 7 is the fourth term in the sequence, right? So how do you obtain the fourth term in the sequence? You take the previous term, the third term, and add 3 to it. Okay, likewise, you take the fifth term in the sequence, which is 11. You take the previous term, 7, and add 5 to it. Sorry, you add 4 to it, right? So whatever this term number is, that's what you are going to add. Likewise, if you are taking the sixth term, take the previous term, fifth term, and add 5 to it. That is what is happening in this recursive solution. Take the previous term and add n minus 1 to it to get the nth term. So is that clear how the recursive solution is working?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so once you get that, you will see immediately why this is wrong, because this is just the nth term and not the sum of the n terms. Here, notice there is one extra step. You compute the ith term for the first n values, and then you add them all together. That is the sum of the series. Okay, so C is correct, A is also correct, B is obviously incorrect. You are only doing it for a particular list. So how do you approach this problem? Can someone tell me?
Sir, when we call a first function, then it inside it called second. When we try to execute second, then it called third one. Then because in a third function it take a queue. Then 10Q is 1000. Then first it print 10,000.
Is it last in
Like
first out?
Correct. Go on.
Then it print 100 and then 10.
Yeah, perfect. So that's what is happening. I don't want to repeat what he said. So I hope you all got it. If you didn't get it, please don't worry, because all the solution is there. Okay, so the solution is, I will give you the link. You can practice it how many ever times you want. For more details, there is explanation in the textbook. So I'm skipping this. This you can solve later on. It's slightly tough. So what about this? Can someone explain what is happening here?
So it's setting x minimum and y minimum as the first elements x and y values, and then checking if there is any other value in any other tuple which is having both the values lesser than these two.
Okay, right. And that is still
and
here.
then it's going ahead and adding those many values which are less than or equal to that, which is essentially equal to the length of the list. And if it is same, then it's passing, it's returning the x and y minimum values, otherwise returning none.
All right, yeah, that is right. So, okay, in this case, do you have, so what will be x min and y min in this, for this list?
1,2.
1, should be 1, 2, but then it will there is nothing like lesser than that, so It should give.
No, I think the
No,
none
it is
comma.
not 1 comma 2 because 2 is 1 is greater than 0 after with the next comparison. So it should be written none.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It returns none, but at this stage, what is x min comma y min? I mean, that is what I.
That is the first one. 1 2.
Okay. Right. So, see, please, I again repeat, don't take this as boring message, but you must be this confident, right? You must please take this away in this session that each one of you is capable of doing this, right? Whether it's Python NSEM exam or some other exam, don't worry too much about exams, okay? Yeah, so all these I think you can do. It's the same function all over again. Let me just stop here just to know if you have understood this correctly. What about this? What will be x min? Will this return none or will it return some tuple, proper tuple?
Tuple.
Okay, what tuple will it return?
1 1.
I guess none comma none.
Okay,
It
none
will
or
return
1
1. Yeah, it will return 1.
1 1.
Okay, are you sure?
Equal.
No, I think it's a none comma none.
Okay, why is it none comma none? Can you tell me where this? I mean, what element makes it none comma none?
Okay, x min and y min is equal to 1 comma 1. Then okay, it's
No. So you are right. I mean, I just want to push you a little bit further. What you said, x min is 1 1, correct? Then
yes, sir. Then because the 0 comma 2 is not
exactly, yeah. So it is final return value is
none comma none.
okay. All right. So those who didn't understand it, please don't worry. The explanation is given. You can go back and read it. Okay, we are rushing through for lack of time.
So how do you send this one?
I'll send it. Okay, so if you really
No,
want,
how do you send this one?
how do you?
You'll send through emails or where?
Yeah, I'll send it through both mediums. But if you really want to get hold of this now itself, then you can just take it here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll paste it here in the. I'll paste
Chat
it
box.
in the chat box, so you can attempt it as many times as you want. Okay, so I'm pasting it multiple times so that okay, so there are some tough questions like lambda functions which you can leave. Okay, so there is, I think the third question is lambda function that you can leave. We will not ask lambda functions in the exam. Okay, so this is what
sir, R3 link are same.
Everything is the same. I just posted it so that there is some visibility. Okay, so this, as I already mentioned, this there is no slash n. No slash n means same line. So everything will be written on the same line. Okay, so as simple as that. Okay, so this is the last question here. So can someone tell me what is happening here?
Sir, it's a reading element by element of a list, and if element if index is less than or equal to, I think if index length of L is less than or equal to element, then it assign +1 to the element present in that index. If and if for 10 p num is equal to 1.
for 10, P of 10 equal to
1.
Okay, I'll ask the question this way. What is the dictionary P at the end of execution of this code?
Count of the number.
It will have values like P of 1 is 1, P of 10 is 1,
Count
P
of
of
the
2 is 1.
number.
Okay, someone is telling me it's count of the numbers. Who is that? Can
Pranab.
yeah, so Pranab, it is count of what?
So like a count of 1 and then count of 2, count of 10, like that.
Okay, so what will be P of 10 then?
P of 10 will be 1 to 3.
Okay, so what Pranab told is right.
Yeah.
Okay, so see. Okay, if this, before you all drop off, so if this code comes in exam, can someone tell me how you will analyze this? So first of all, so let me give you some hints to analyze this code, right? So first thing that I'll notice is that this is NAT, right? So this is NAT, but it's a very important observation. Why is that? Because the code is correct, right? The code needs to have some value, right? So it will finally output some integer value, right? It will always be integer for our exam. So that is the first observation. Now, what's the second thing that I'll do?
To check whether the things are getting initiated.
Okay. So you have some loop here. Okay, so try to go on.
We'll try to create the dictionaries.
Okay, you'll try to create the dictionaries. Yeah, that's a good point, right? You finally see, okay, this is maybe the second thing I'll do, right? I'll try to look for what is being printed. So my output is the result of printing something, right? That is what I have to enter here. So what is being printed? Something is being printed, and whatever it is being printed it depends on the dictionary P. So everything now depends on how my P is populated. Okay, so I now immediately go back to the code. So notice that it's nonlinear. I don't start from line 1 and then go to line 10. Rather, I start at line 10. I see that I need something here, P. So I go back. Okay, P is a dictionary. Now I see what happens to P or how it's populated. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can do in exam and later on when you read the code to not go linearly, right? From top, first line, second line, third line, but to try to focus on essential aspects of the code, say function calls. So if you know which function is being called where, then you can go back and look at what the function is doing, rather than reading the function fully and then going and looking at the function call. So these are small variations that you can do. Okay, so one final question based on this problem. What can you say about the length of this list and the answer of this problem? Both are the same, right? So essentially what we have done after all this is that we have computed the length of the list.
Yeah.
Okay, so so that is all from the mock point of view. What I'll do now is I'll quickly go through the important aspects in the first 11 weeks. Okay, so this is being recorded. So those who want to drop off, please drop off. But you can come back and watch the session from 4 o'clock onwards, which is after 2 o'clock. So maybe for next 20 minutes, I'll do that. Okay, so feel free to drop off and join your next session. So I'll start from week 1. See, week 1, what is there? Basically, we have, I think one of you had a confusion with multiple assignment, right? So we have basically variables and beginning of string. This is the only thing which might be confusing, which is multiple assignment, right? So when you say x comma y equal to 1 comma 2, 1 is assigned to x, 2 is assigned to y. Okay. If you have something like x comma y comma z, then you have corresponding assignments, right? So this is, even if you don't know how this works, this much is enough. Okay. You have variables. You have three types of data types, mainly int, float, str. Bool also to some extent you need to know, but beyond this, we don't expect you to know. One important point for the exam and even beyond that is the float division operator, right? So this will always return an integer. And in our exams, we always expect you to enter integer values, not float values, right? So watch out for 10, say something like float division and not integer, not the common division that we know. Okay, this is another point that you need to know. So other arithmetic operations, I think you are familiar with star for multiplication, exponentiation, double star, plus, minus. These are all arithmetic operators. Not and or are all logical or relational operators. Greater than, less than, double equal to, greater than, equal to, all these are comparison operators, right? So these two operators deal with or result in Boolean values. Okay, so that is with respect to operators and expressions in general. Next, when you come to strings, right? What all do you need to know? You need to know about indexing. So if you need to know about two types of indexing, forward and backward, or negative indexing. So a of 0 going all the way up till a of, say, length of a minus 1, right? So length of a is not defined. It will throw an index error, but anything till length of a minus 1 will work. Likewise, you start with a of minus 1 and you can go all the way up till a minus length of a, right? So a of 0 all the way to a of length of a minus 1, and a of minus 1 going backward, a of minus length of a. So this is two kinds of indexing. Slicing. So a of start, end. So you go from start, but don't include end. So that is what slicing is all about. Once you know what indexing and slicing is, you come to concatenation. So C equal to A plus B means good game, right? So you just put the two strings together. That is concatenation. So indexing, slicing, concatenation. What else do you have in strings? Couple of string methods. It's good to know. A dot index of, say, D will return the index of the letter D in the string A. So index is good to know, or what index does. We also saw count, right? So count we just saw in one of the mock questions. How many times does O occur in the string A? So index, count, two methods. What else do you need to know?
Deletion of a character from string.
Deletion of a character from a string. Okay. May not be that, but it's a good point. So that also good to know. So let's say you want to delete. So it's a dot remove, is it? I mean, I also forgot. I forgot. What is this? A dot no, a dot remove, no. A dot replace, right?
A dot replace will replace.
It will replace E with something, right? So you could do this. Could replace it with the empty string. So it will do this replacement across the board. So for example, so if I print A and B, I get what happened? Oh, E, not E, O. Right. So this is one way of removing characters. Okay. So this is also one operation you can add to your repository. So
can use remove keyword also.
String keyword for what?
Removing certain letters removed.
Okay, okay.
So in line number 6, if we put one more parameter like comma 1, then it will remove only one.
Only one, right? Okay, okay. Yeah, it will remove only one occurrence of leftmost occurrence, I believe, right? So one O, if you remove good becomes God. Okay. All right. So that is week 1. Strings are immutable. Okay. So we won't test you too much on what is mutable, immutability, such theory we won't test, but it's good to know that strings are immutable. So you can't say A of 0 equal to say B. Okay. So that will throw an error. So that is not allowed for strings. That is week 1. Okay. Let's quickly go to week 2. So if condition, then print blah blah blah, right? So that is the simple if condition. Can add an else and some other blah, right? So or you can make it else if some condition 2, right? Let's say this is condition 1, right? So you must know by now that when you have an if else ladder, only exactly one of the 3 conditions or 3 blocks will be executed, right? This is different from having 3 separate if conditions, right? So these are all subtle things that you must know by now, right? I don't want to spend too much time on what an if else if ladder is. I hope you know what it means. One point which some of you seem to have seen some students struggling with this. If something like this happens, right? If flag print yes, right? So what is the output of this code? Yes, right? So I mean this seems very simple, no? But some of early on, some of them used to ask why shouldn't this be if flag double equal to true? Okay, so both are equivalent, right? So this is something you must know. If flag, I don't need to explicitly say if this flag variable is true, then it's enough if I say if flag print yes. I don't need to say if flag double equal to true and all that, right? So this, for example, if flag is say false, okay, if flag is false, and I say if not flag, print works. So what will this output? It'll output works, right? So this is something you must know, right? If not flag, you must not be suddenly thrown off and say, okay, what is this not flag? I have never seen it before. Not flag is nothing but not of flag, right? You just treat it as not of flag, and if flag is true, not flag will be false and vice versa. Okay, so that is week 2. Nothing much in week 2. Week 3, 4, you must be absolutely familiar with all the manifestations of range, right? So simple range, and then so range of n, range of a comma b, range of a comma b comma c. You must know all these 3. So please brush up on all 3 variations of range. And okay, so always remember that range ends with 1 less than whatever is the ending value, right? So it is a to b minus 1. It is 0 to a minus 1. Here it is a to b minus 1, but in steps of c. Okay, so these are the 3 manifestations of range. One important thing again you need to know is range of, for x in range of a comma a, or like say 10 comma 10. So if I run this code, what will happen? Can someone tell me who is there on the call?
It will give errors, I think.
Okay, it's important to know because I don't I won't say that you are wrong if you think that it will throw an error, but it will not throw an error. Okay, it's tough to. Okay, here it throws an error because all this, but it won't throw an error. Okay, so this, remember this. This is what is called an empty sequence. Okay, range of 10, 10 is what is called an empty sequence. So if you convert this into your list, you will notice that it is the empty list. Okay, so when you see this, please note that it's not an erroneous code, but it's just that the sequence is empty. Okay, what will happen if I do something like this? Okay, this is not erroneous, right? It's just that this is also empty. Okay, so that is week 3 for loops. So this is called the loop variable, and you will see this come very often, right? So we are using this for each syntax for iterating through strings also, right? For character in atom, print character ATOM, and for element in say 1, 2, 3, print element. This is valid syntax. Okay, so you must know these 2 ways of writing a for loop. Finally, we come to the while loop, right? So nothing difficult here. Okay, so that is the basic syntax of a while loop. While condition is satisfied, keep going inside the loop, right? So always remember that as long as this is true, you will enter the while loop. The moment this becomes false, you exit the while loop. So the terminating condition for a while loop is what? When x is greater. Yeah, please Paul.
The condition for while x is if x is less than 10.
Okay, what is the terminating condition? I mean, if x is less than 10, will the loop terminate or will it carry on?
No, so it will carry on. If it is 10 or more than 10, it will terminate.
Exactly, right? So in some sense, you can say that the terminating condition for a while loop is the negative or the negation of the statement. Okay, so I hope you understand what I mean by this. So
yes, sir.
You understand, right? So I'll just formally state it. While condition print blah, right? So this is the while loop. The terminating condition for the while loop is not of the condition, right? When this happens, it will terminate. Okay, anyway, so this might be more confusing. So let's just stick with the example. So when x becomes greater than or equal to 10, it will terminate. When the negative of this happens, then while loop will exit. So that is loops for list in week 4. You need to know how to initialize a list. You can do it either this way or this way. So that is initializing a list. How do you grow a list for x in, let's say, range of, you do l.append of x. So you grow a list by either appending elements to it, or you can grow a list by concatenating another list to it. Both are the same. Never forget that you can only concatenate lists with each other, right? L plus, so if you write L plus x, it's wrong because x is an integer, L is a list. So you have to enclose it within the square brackets. So that is list concatenation, growing a list basically, 2 ways of growing a list. As far as list methods are concerned, you need to know append You need to know, it's good to know index, it's good to know remove, right? What all of these things are doing.
Pops.
Yeah, pop is also good to know, right? I mean, I would say all these four, please make it a point to know what they do, how they operate. Okay, so that is basic list. What about list of lists? Again, matrices in our course. So before we go to matrices, let's finish list comprehension. So x for x in range of 10, right? So you can do this to create a list. Matrices, again, list of lists. I don't think you need to, there's anything special about them that we need to discuss. Just watch out for how you loop through the various. Given a matrix, you must know how to iterate through the columns and rows. Okay, that is all you need to know. Then week 4 is kind of done. Functions we have been using left, right, center, so nothing specific that you need to know about functions. Collections, you have dictionary, list, tuple, set, right? So dictionary, please make it a point to not be surprised by different ways of initializing a dictionary. So both are valid. You must know both ways. Mind you, this is a dictionary and not a set. Even though this is the set notation in mathematics, this is always an empty dictionary. Okay, this can never become an empty set. If you want to initialize an empty set, the only way to do it is set off. Okay, there's no other way to initialize an empty set. Or other ways to initialize a set are have some elements in it. Okay, so this is now a set and not a dictionary. But when you have nothing inside your curly braces, it can only be a dictionary. Okay, so that is initializing a dictionary. Now you need to know two ways of iterating through the keys. For key in D, print D of key, right? For key in D dot keys, print D of key. For key comma value in D dot items, print key comma value. So these are largely the three ways of iterating through dictionaries, right? Here you don't even use the method keys. You just say for key in D. Here you use D dot keys. Here you go through each key value pair in the dictionary using D dot items. Okay, so that is how you do it. What else you have? You don't need to know any dictionary methods other than this. This is all you need to know as far as dictionaries are concerned. Tuples are very much like lists, but they are immutable. So you can't append to a tuple, right? So crucial difference between lists and tuples. Make a note of that. This is wrong. So this won't work. Right. So other than that, you must know that when you have an expression like this is actually tuple packing and then sequence unpacking. So tuple is created out of this. So if you type here 1, 2, 3, it creates the tuple 1, 2, 3, and then it does unpacking. Right? It unpacks that into these three variables x, y, z. So that is tuples. Week 7 is refresher week, so nothing there. Week 8 is recursion. Recursion, again, you must know the general idea of what it does. Week 9 is file handling. So please know how this basic thing works. So file name .txt, R, right? And for line in F, print line dot strip. We'll just print the contents of the file after removing the new lines. So you need to be aware of the methods read line, read lines, right? And when the file is opened in write mode, it's good to know what f.write does. All right, so this is the basics about file handling. You must know when to close the file. After your processing is done, make it a point to close the file. Okay, so there is a way to read a file and store the lines as a list using list comprehension, which you must know. So let's say okay, so this will read a file, open a file in read mode. The file handle will be F. Okay, and then you'll go through line by line and then strip the line of white spaces and store all of these lines in a list. So this is the list comprehension coupled with file. So let's say, okay. So this is week 9. Okay, so this will read a file. Okay, I'm hearing my voice again. Can you please okay, and then you go through. Yeah, so this is week 9. Week 10 is basically object-oriented programming. So you must know what a class is. Okay, so classes typically have constructors. Okay, and they have what is called attributes and methods. Okay, so this is an attribute, self.x. So x is an attribute of this class A, and init is the constructor. So whenever you define an object, the constructor gets called. Okay, or that is how an object is created. So when you say A of 5, then a constructor is called and 5 is assigned to that attribute x. So when you say object dot x, then it will print 5, right? Because the attribute's value is 5 here. Okay, so you can now increase the complexity by writing in a method, say method 1, or let's call it update, right? Update x. So new x something, and I say self.x equal to self.new underscore x, right? That's how I update my value of x, right? So if I say object.update x with 10 and print object.x, now it will be I'm sorry, oh, this is not new x, this has to be, it'll be 5 and then 10, right? So that is how classes work. You have attributes, you have methods, you have objects. When objects are defined, constructors get called. All right, and yeah, that is pretty much what you need to know mainly. Week 11, you need to know, as I mentioned earlier, only 2 things: list comprehension. Okay, yeah, so not just list comprehension. You need to know list comprehension and whatever is there in the practice and graded theory assignment you must know. So exception handling, list comprehension, and the ternary operator, right? So if you remember, we have questions on all these three. So exception handling typically works in this try except block kind of a formulation where you have try some code and then except some code, right? So whenever this throws an error, that is caught by this except code block. Okay, so that is the basic idea behind exception handling. Now you could have different kinds of exceptions. Say you could have an index error, for example, right? You could have different kinds of error, value error or zero division error. So you need to know a few of these. Again, this is given in the practice assignment. And list comprehension, as again you must already know, we just discussed it. So how do you create a list in a single line? Okay, so that is basically it. And then you must know what a ternary operator is, which is nothing but if else in a single line, right? So x equal to say 1 if say some a greater than 0, else 0, something like this, right? So it's basic if else, but then you write the whole thing in a single line. Okay, so that is week 11. Week 12, there was no content. So yeah, these are the three things from week 11. Lambda functions, you don't essentially need to know, but please make sure you study it at some point of time. And generators, iterators, all these things are good to know, but you don't need to spend too much time on them. Yeah, so that's it. You can all leave if you don't have any question. Aziz, Ahmed, you have any question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
One thing, the first thing is that suppose we have the tuple, then can we access the element of tuple? For example, if you written 1, 2, 3, then can you access 3 individual elements?
Yeah, that you can do.
So how we can write it? T of 2, something like this one?
Yeah, T of 0, T of 1, T of 2, that we can do.
Okay. One more thing. Suppose we have list of dictionaries.
Okay.
Then how can we access the dictionary element? Means, for example, if we have the list, in that one, the first element is some dictionary. Second element means L of 0 is some dictionary. L of 1 is dictionary.
Okay.
Different. So how we can write L of 0 and then D of something keyword like this way?
Yeah, L of 0 will be the first element, and then L of 0, and then if there is some
dictionary is there,
some key, right? So that will give you the value of that value of the key in the dictionary.
Yeah, value 1, for example.
Yeah.
Key 1, for example, key 1.
Yeah, so L of 0, 1 will give you that value.
Yeah, thanks.
One doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can we print for loop using ternary operator?
Can we?
Can we print a for loop ternary operator if we have a number of output using for loop in a single line?
Okay, okay. I think you can do. No, I don't know if it's called ternary operator, but for x in range of say 10, if I say print x, it will work. So this you can do. I mean, if it goes beyond 2 lines, then also you can do, but you need to add semicolons, and I think this also will work. So this we have not introduced because it makes code kind of unreadable, but you can can do a single line for loop using semicolons. Okay, but it's, from exam point of view, it won't be there.
Sir, I have doubt in one graded assignment, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Can you expect the question from exception handling?
Yeah, exception handling, list comparison, and this ternary operator will certainly be there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sir. Week 6, sir. Graded assignment, question number 5, sir.
Okay. Okay, with this question we'll close week 6 graded.
Thank you, sir. Nice session.
Yeah. So
Thank you, sir.
yeah. So yeah, week 6 graded.
So I have just doubt in that two options, sir. So one is saying less than, another is saying that equal to, less than, equal to. So didn't get how that equal to differ the answer, sir.
This is the correct answer, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, which option is confusing?
Yeah, just above one, that's greater than frequency, that equal to sign is not there, sir.
So we have given this here, right? If multiple numbers have the same frequency, then you have to return the largest such number.
Yeah, sir. So how that equal to sign, sir, will give that largest number, and that if we are just giving greater than.
Because if it's equal to, you will update it, right? So you will update this again. Okay, so you take one way to understand this is you take one list. P is what? P is a dictionary, right? So you take a dictionary, and if you work it out, you will see why what the case is, right? You take a dictionary P where say some two keys have the same value. So you will notice why this equal to is updating that, giving you that largest key.
Okay, sir. And do we have any session on Thursday, sir?
Yeah, Thursday we have one more session. So yeah. Okay, thanks for
Yeah, thank
joining. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you, sir.